Welcome to the Yeah Come On Show podcast, brought to you by Yeah Come On Bourbon Whiskey by Legends. It's smooth, it's sweet, and it's smoky. Those are 3 S's. Do you see Southside Steve as 2 S's or 3 S's?
2 S's.
Yeah. So maybe I did.
Because Southside's one word.
See, that's the way I always looked at it, but people used to call me Triple S, so I thought the sweet, smooth, smoky, which is what this is, that worked. But you're saying 2 S's.
Yeah.
Should I drop one and just go sweet and smoky?
Sweet and smoky.
Throw savory in there.
Okay, savory. 4 S's, thank you. That is the direction of our guest, who is off in the green room on the couch. 1 second. Can you just shut up while we do what we're doing?
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
I the etiquette.
But I am Southside Steve. This is my co-host, Jeff Cole, and we are all about life, liberty, and the pursuit of show business. That's all it is. And Jeff, this is whether you're trying to make it in show business or an entrepreneur.
Or any kind of art, inventor, chef. We hope to have some chefs on, restaurateurs. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things. Nice restaurants and bars. I want to talk to people that have had successes and the ones that had failing bars. I mean, I'm just saying we could talk to you about that. I mean, something. I'm telling you, one of these days we're going to revive Southside Steve's in some form on the north side of town where we are now.
Yeah, because I'm not driving to McDonough anymore.
And you can.
Too far.
I've got a business sense, so I can help watch the numbers.
I need numbers. Numbers weren't watched last time, at least not by me.
So we're doing all the things, pursuing your dreams, quitting your day job. And our guest today is an old friend of mine. I believe he still has a day job, but he's still pursuing show business things in music. And he's gotten to a pretty high level of success in Atlanta and maybe the Southeast. But he's been in some of the greatest tribute bands in Atlanta. In fact, I think the first one that he was in, Rumors, which is the Fleetwood Mac tribute, I believe they went worldwide. They went to Europe and played some shows.
Well, that's huge.
We'll hear all about that.
Yeah, we will. And he played Lindsey Buckingham, which is, you can't use a pick when you play Lindsey. I was in the studio with Lindsey on 96 Rock when I was with Christopher Root and the Wake Up Crew in the mid-'90s when I was producer breaking into morning radio. And I just watched the dude play and I was like, Lord have mercy. How do you do that? But when you've got a guy that has that ability, but then you find out that he's in a Lynyrd Skynyrd tribute called SkynFolks, and you find out that he's not a guitarist in that he's the lead singer because he looks like Ronnie Van Zant, and he's like, these 3 guys are better on guitar than me. So when you've got a 3-guitar army that is better than the guy that plays Lindsey Buckingham in a Fleetwood Mac tribute, you're like, damn. And then you find out where we are now. We're going to hear all about it, what he's a part of, and he says it is the greatest thing he's been a part of. But I want to know where it all started. You're about to find out. This is a guy making it in tribute music. It ought to be interesting. Jeff, by the way, has a minor in that.
I have a minor in tribute band theory, so we're going to love to talk to our guest today, Doug Easterly. Come on up.
Easterly. Yeah, buddy.
See?
There you go.
Watch your head. There you go.
Feel tall in here. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Get comfortable, Doug.
Oh, yeah.
We're joined by Doug Easterly now, and nobody fits this better. There's so many people that are perfect for this podcast, and the reason I love it is because it's all about the hustle. And a lot of people that succeed, it's that whole, and I hate it, it's so easy to write positive things. Zig Ziglar had it easy. You know, when you come up with these sayings, the guy that succeeded tried one more time. I hate it, but it's kind of true. You did. You tried one more time and you made it. But here's the problem. Guys like Jeff, when I was single and I'm making my career, he's having to have a day job because he has a wife and family. I didn't, and he's dabbling in what he wants to do. Now it's flipped, and you can go full on in what you're doing, and then you got somebody like Doug that also has wife and kids, and it's like, to what point do you chase dreams? To what point is what you're trying to do foolish to the ones that love you most? Trying to become something, do they back you? Do they back you to a point? Do they look at you and go, you're costing us our money? You know, we could be living a lot better because you keep throwing money at this dream, and that's what this podcast is all about. How much money and time, or just tell me, along with you and Jeff, because y'all have known each other, where did all this start? When did y'all start chasing the dream of being rock stars?
Probably nine or 10.
Early days of watching MTV.
84. Yeah, 84. When 1984 came out with Van Halen,
That was it?
Changed my world.
God,
When
both
Shout at
of
the
you.
Devil came out, Motley Crue changed my world. Wanted to play drums the rest of my life.
That's what you started because.
And I knew that's what I was going to do.
And it was drums.
Yeah,
was
it
your
was
inspiration?
drums.
Because Doug was the first guy I ever knew to be in a band. We went to middle school together, and he had a band called the Royal Merchants. He was a drummer. So when you started getting into music, you said drums is it. Because I remember you playing drums then.
Yeah.
But then, and that was 1987, 88.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2015, I see you in the Rumors.
Yeah.
Fronting the Rumors tribute band, which was the premier Fleetwood Mac tribute band in town or in the Southeast.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, wait, that's Doug Easterly. So let's start with there.
great.
So you go to high school and you started your own bands. What happened? How far did you go on your own? And when did you become?
My good friend Sanjay Guitari and we started playing together. That's where the Royal Merchants started. You know Sanjay.
No,
Sure.
I don't.
Is it Sanjay Gupta? Because I know him. I actually
Anyways.
urinated next to him one time.
Anyway,
It's
he was my
great
best
story.
friend for years, and we started playing music together at 14. And our first show was at Dagwood's Pizza in Spalding. Corners.
Yeah.
Yep. We're 14 years old, play guitar, and we were singing a little bit. We learned how to do some harmonies.
But
after that,
can I
it's
just interrupt? I want to know,
Sure.
because that's somebody that doesn't know. I took guitar lab in 8th grade, and I learned a little bit. Where do you guys, when you say I started playing at 14, are you just playing by ear? Do you have that ability or memory, or were you taking lessons? How do y'all pick up instruments and start a band?
I've done everything by ear. I've had some lessons after I had evolved into a little bit of a guitarist and got into singing stuff.
So you've memorized the frets, where you put your fingers in the tone you're going to
and
get.
just listen to find the chords in my head, as I'm listening to the song. That's basically.
Is that,
So you've got the ear.
Yeah.
is that how you play?
No, I have to read and like read stuff and do tablature, which is
Yeah.
where it tells
I don't
you
even know
where
how
to
to
put
do
your
tablature.
fingers. So I have to do all that, and I don't have an ear. Like I can tune it. It's a miracle I can even tune a guitar. But when it comes to singing, I can't even come close. But
you're horrible.
But so when you were playing drums, did you know you could sing?
Well, back then nobody wanted to sing. It wasn't cool to be the singer. Everybody wanted to be guitarist. or
Boy,
the
that
drummer.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I one day I had a little garage band. Nobody wanted to sing, so I pulled a microphone stand behind by the
You're
drum
like,
kit.
"Damn it,
and
I'll do it."
Started screaming into the mic, and I was.
How you like me now?
Yeah. And I guess that's where it all started.
So progress on. So you start doing this, and you're in the Rumors, and you're like, you write music.
It was
I
like
assume.
2015, I think.
Yeah,
I do write music as well. Yeah.
But like in the 90s though, you were trying to pursue the rock and roll dreams on your
trying to have your own band.
be your own band. Yeah.
What were the band's names?
Yeah, I
That's
was
what I
in
crave. I love band names.
The original band I was in, serious original band that we actually wanted to get on the bus and tour and everything, was called Sight Unseen.
Sight Unseen.
Sight Unseen.
Good.
That's not bad. It's better than that. It's the Royal Merchant thing.
That was middle school.
Oh, we also called a band called The Shrubs. That was kind of fun.
I mean, it's better than Bush.
And that was already ended up being taken.
Yeah, that actually worked.
So, I was in Athens with Sanjay, my good friend at the time. We started music together. We ended up in Athens around the same time. We formed Sight Unseen, and it was a prog rock, Police meets Rush meets REM kind of.
And this is in the
mixture.
90s?
Yeah.
But that was perfect for
Yeah.
the Athens sound. A lot of
Yeah.
people, I think it's based on where you are.
It's like 96.
It's 96,
something like
but
that.
coming from,
Metal
the
at the time.
B-52s, coming from REM, just like if you're on the West Coast, if you were in Seattle,
Yeah.
in the 90s, you were doing some form of grunge. I
Yeah.
think where you grow up affects you, just like that's why people in the South have Southern rock and roll.
Absolutely. I feel like I grew up in the best era of music between the late 70s and, into the late 80s and some of the 90s.
Some.
Some.
Some of the 90s.
Guess what?
I mean, some of my favorite bands are from the 90s, and then the rest of it is garbage.
See,
So
garbage.
It's like,
I agree with you. We are 70s, 80s, and some 90s. This entire panel right now agrees. I don't know if you do. The only other decade I loved was the 50s. And my father loved it because I think it was like the 80s where every time you turned on the radio, it was so radio driven, you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Who is this? Bands just coming out of nowhere. And you had the great new wave and you had the rock. So when you do what you do, Is it like Jeff, which if Jeff did a tribute, it would have to be Van Halen, whether he sucked at it or not, because he just can't get it out of his head? Is it for you? Do you look for what you truly loved, or do you just go, I fit this band, I can do this?
I was picked up by a couple people in the bass player and the guitarist and lead guitarist in Rumors, and I never realized a lot of these tribute bands that I was fortunate enough to join and had some time with. I never realized how deep the catalogs went and how amazing the catalogs were until you really sit down and look at, their whole retrospective, their whole 2 hours of music that they put out over 10, 15 albums, and you realize how good these bands really were.
And it's not just that, it's the songs, which is why Jeff and I on the Southside Ride, you can go to the southsideride.com to learn all about what we do. But MyFox FM is the app. It's just Fox FM, but if you go to MyFox FM, you can download the app, hear us anywhere, whether it's on an Apple, which I carry, or an Android, which is what he carries. And everybody's doing this in their car. If you got a 1970s car and you're rolling down the window and you don't have Bluetooth, far out, more power to you. But if you've got some kind of electric plug-in car, then damn it, Bluetooth us anywhere in the world. But we play track 13 because of these catalogs. Track 13 is the song that radio can only pick so many. Mm-hmm. They research them. They only play 3, 4, 5 songs by an artist or just one song on an album. Track 13, we like to play the songs you're talking about. These deeper catalog songs, maybe you're hearing it for the first time, but they never were played on the radio.
Yeah.
And as an artist, you've got to, in front of a crowd, you're like, people know the hits of who I'm doing a tribute. How deep can we go? And how can we pull it off?
And you don't want to have too many, because then you're losing your crowd that really just knows the radio hits. But you want to have them sprinkled in there, because you're going to get. That's the beauty of these tribute bands, is you're gonna get your friends and your local following and that kind of thing. But you're going to get straight up Lynyrd Skynyrd fans. You're going to get straight up Fleetwood Mac fans that want to relive that exact show. And so you got to have the deep cuts for
and
that.
You get the hardcore fans that want that stuff.
And they go, oh my God, they're playing that song.
Which is why it's better than a genre tribute, which we've covered, because you're going to get just this artist.
Yeah. You're drawing in people that would normally go see the real band or saw them in the 70s and 80s.
That's cool.
So it's a really cool thing to be in.
But before you got into the tribute thing, how far did Sight Unseen, or how far did your band, the original band, make it in terms of trying to get a record deal, a manager, touring the country? How far did you get before you joined the Rumors?
In '96 with Sight Unseen, we spent about I think I was in Athens for 7 years, way too long. But
Jeff was in California for 6 months trying to make it.
I only did 6 months out there.
So the band was together 3 or 4 years, I believe. We put out 3 albums. At the time, everybody was burning their own CDs, and so Sanjay was the engineer, and he did a great job with the record, for an independent recording. And we played as much as we could in Athens. My solo stuff, I do have a record on Amazon, whatever. It's on the internet.
All the streaming platforms.
It's called exactly. It's called Reasons to Smile, and it's just an acoustic album that I wrote.
Or Reasons to Cry if you don't like his music.
It can be taken either way. But I like to write. I don't, obviously, spending 12 years doing tributes, my writing has gone out the window, because all you do is remember in your head all these songs that you've had to learn. So if I do sit down and try to write something, it becomes, oh shit, that's a Fleetwood Mac song.
Right. And you're like, what am I doing?
I gotta do it.
Yeah, you're like, damn it, I can't believe I'm writing. I can't copy somebody. I can't do. It's hard to have an original thought when you got all this crap in your head, and I get it, and then you almost feel like you're derailing yourself. This is the vehicle that you're riding in. So when you go from Rumors, then our 1 year anniversary that we had for Come On Bourbon Whiskey is in Cumming, Georgia at Legends Distillery. You played with love it. You played with SkynFolks, and
yes, sir.
And still do. And he was frontman Ronnie Van Zant. So you got a guy that was playing Lindsey Buckingham, but now he's fronting a band, not with a guitar, because you said you had 3 rocking guitars, but then you've got your keyboardist, you've got your backup singers, you got your drummer. It's a large band to be Lynyrd Skynyrd, but you do it fantastically. And then that's working for you. and still is. SkynFolks, check it out. I mean, to me, the best. I mean, if you can't see Lynyrd Skynyrd, see this. Secondly, you're out there, then you get contacted by where we are right now in the present.
Yeah.
And being contacted has got to be a huge compliment. Like, hey, we want you for something that's working, something that's 3 years old, and you now say this is the biggest thing I've been a part of. So now
it is.
You've thrown spaghetti at the wall, and it's sticking. Although those are working, this could be the big one.
It could be, yeah. Like I said, SkynFolks is still very active and doing some great shows this year, and I still love those guys to death. I'd take nothing away from that, absolutely.
Yeah. But you're doing both.
Big Bam Boom is America's Hall & Oates tribute, and I am honored to be a part of it. I was asked, Kristen Tinsley, that we did the Stevie Nicks thing.
Stevie Nicks, she does great Stevie Nicks.
I was playing drums with her. And the keyboard player, Scott Ritchie, amazing keyboard player, was in Big Bam Boom. That was his main project, the Hall & Oates tribute. And their singer, Clay Duke, which I said earlier in the interview, he has moved on to Electric Avenue, playing keyboards and singing with that, so it took a nice big step up.
Which is a genre tribute, as I believe you coined.
Synth rock 80s, basically.
By the way, you heard it here first. Doug Easterly, tell your friends, anybody across the country that might be watching this, he coined genre tribute.
I did.
This is why this podcast is cutting edge.
It's very true.
God. It's unbelievable. One thing I want to mention here, because we got to pay the bills. Joe B's Bee Pollen. If you're not on it, I want you on it because you're burning the candle. And I'll tell anybody out there, Bee Pollen.
Hey, I'll take it. I could use it.
Bee Pollen is the way to go, and it's joebees.com. JOEBEES.com. I take 2 capsules a morning on an empty stomach. I'm 59 now. Didn't get married till late in life. I got a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I got to move. And we're all doing this, and anybody contact us. Jeff, what's the best way to even contact us? If somebody thinks they want to do this podcast, feel free to fly in. We'll take anybody that's trying to make it, but we love failure because through failure comes success, and you got to be able to laugh about failure, and we're going to get into that just for a second with Doug. You got to have thick skin, right? You do.
You do. You can't take things too personally, and you got to just keep going.
Yeah, so how can people get a hold of us the best way?
Best way, you could probably just slide into our DMs.
Okay.
On any one of the socials, or hit thesouthsideride.com and contact us there. It's
but
easy.
We want to hear from you. And again, like Jeff said at Show Open, it's whether you're an entrepreneur, you're inventing something, you want to be a chef, you want to be whatever. Maybe you want to do videos of kittens. That's going to be the last. You're going to be the last person I put on, you creepy person. But I'm not saying I won't talk to you.
All over him.
Yeah, just like weird. Especially if you're in a state of undress. That's when it gets weird. I don't know that I can do that. But lastly, I want to mention another sponsor. Speaking of weird, and we were talking with Doug off mic. And it's one of these things that I'm so blessed to have David Markwell on. And he's been with me in radio now for about 12 years through corporate radio. Now he's also a sponsor of the podcast. And you go to markwelltherapy.com. This guy has 2 locations. He'll Zoom, he'll talk to you, but he's really working with a lot of kids. And we were talking, the suicide rate is way too high. It hurts everyone that is still alive. And you got to talk about it. Death doesn't need to be the ultimate escape. Or if you're just going through counseling and you're like on your 5th marriage, like Jeff, or 6, I don't know now, and you need to talk to somebody, just try to make something stick, but counseling helps. We want you to talk to somebody. Or if you're doing what this guy's doing and you're like, I want to make it, I gotta make it, and I don't know, you could have demons, but you need to talk to a counselor. Again, markwelltherapy.com. Thank you for being a sponsor. So speaking of the negativity, I joke about Jeff. He knows mine. Bar failure, different failure. That one hurt like hell. But when you're doing everything right, doesn't mean it's going to work. When you got the right people, there has to be timing, luck in this, skill, right place, right time.
Perseverance. And
perseverance to push and sometimes make something happen. Do you have any idea of opportunities? What would you be doing if you weren't doing this? Have you passed up on jobs? Do you have any idea of how much money you've spent trying to make it?
No idea. I couldn't even ballpark it. But also, I've always known this is what I wanted to do. And, you have to do what you have to do. My second passion is I'm a neuromuscular massage therapist. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
See, there's the backup plan.
I've been doing
Jeff
that
sells
for 15
coolers.
years.
It's good to know. What is that now? So where do you do that?
Neuromuscular massage therapy. It's basically medically based, and sports injury is what I specialize in.
You've been doing that for 15 years?
15
so that's sort of been your day job.
That's my little, yeah.
You get benefits
I've
from
been
that?
licensed for 15 years. I've done, no, unfortunately, it's kind of a contractor.
I hate that's the only thing when you're not corporate, not having benefits,
Yeah,
man,
all
sucks.
1099.
Yeah.
But
you're
great-
flexible too, I guess. You
yeah,
can
yeah.
tour or play shows and.
Well, Jeff,
Yeah.
of course he's
Work around.
flexible. He's working on muscles. Keep up.
Good one.
I know, dude, I'm on fire today, I swear to goodness. It's Joe B's.
So it's just always been part-time for me, and it's been a great little supplemental thing with the
Okay.
music. And it also is a complete zing and zang from the crazy music, light, everything.
How's your wife
lighted
with
to
all
a row
this?
and loud all day long, and then I'm in this quiet little room and I'm helping people and stuff. So
That's cool.
my wife's phenomenal.
Does she have a good job, or is she praying to God you bring home the bacon?
She does. She
Is that what helps when you
she's
got
also
somebody, yeah.
she's the superstar rock
Okay.
star of my family. She's an amazingly talented hairstylist and colorist as a trade, as a talent. And then she goes to a bank every day and kicks ass in banking for Ameris Bank. So
We love
she's
Maris,
my
man.
angel. She keeps me going, and she loves live music. We met through rumors.
So she saw you on stage and goes, I got to have that.
See, now this is one of my theories. Is it's easier when you meet your spouse or partner while you're already doing this passion.
Yeah, because
Okay.
then you know if they're in or
You know
they're
what I'm
out.
saying?
And
Like
I would agree with that.
your wife met you. You were already Southside Steve on the air, being the crazy guy, which is mostly a character. She knew that you're a real guy, but she knew your career.
But she legitimately did become
Whereas
419.
if you get married and start a family and you're really doing your backup plan, your day job, and you're trying to spend extra time on these show business pursuits, in my case, or whatever it may be, that can cause some friction in a relationship.
It can.
But since
Because
you guys
they're just putting up with it until, okay, so when are you going to
But if your relationship
You're
starts,
going to be a big boy.
if your relationship starts
get a
with
real
that,
job.
see, but if your relationship starts with you not having a real, this being your trying to be your real job, I think that works
Well,
out
and
better.
especially meeting in that,
Yes.
like you said, meeting in that.
Well, she's a fan of what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, she was going to see at the time. Familiar with Mock of Ages, great Def Leppard tribute, friends of mine. They were called Hysteria at the time, their original name.
I think I know him by Hysteria. I didn't know Mock
yeah.
of Ages. I love to play off the names.
So my wife loves Def Leppard and was
Okay.
going to see Hysteria for the umpteenth time. And but she heard about this new Fleetwood Mac tribute that also was starting. So that's how we met.
Did she flash you? Do you guys
Not
get
that
flashed
night.
anymore?
Not that
The tribute guys get flashed? Is that even a thing anymore? Or is anybody...
I'll tell you what, some of these tribute fans really think you're the band, and it can get a little creepy.
I was wondering. I was
It can get a
wondering.
little creepy.
That's a
the majority of the
compliment.
people are just enjoying the accuracy and the talent, and they can go home but some of these people really think you're the band. It's a little creepy.
Yeah, and in
Not gonna
talking
lie.
about what you've chosen to do, I think Atlanta is a hot spot. I don't know other areas in the country. I do know because Journey's my favorite band, Van Halen.
Like LA, Chicago.
LA's crunching.
Huge.
Yeah, and I've seen, I think it was
84.
Frontiers came out of California,
Yeah.
and they were competing, with the band, that I love here for Journey. And
Departure, yeah.
Yeah, Departure's my guys, and Departure's fantastic. Love them. But I thought,
16 years
they
they've
were
been doing
good. But it's just like, so I think there's there's a top tier. Are you aware of your competition?
Honestly, with Hall & Oates now, there's not much competition out there. Don't go out there and start a tribute.
And you're
we're the
speaking of
best.
starting one, you look like Daryl.
I've been getting the Daryl Hall thing pretty much my entire life. It's always
Maybe you were
kinda
meant to
put
do
me there.
this.
Yeah, and it's also the least character I have to do, which is really cool because I really don't have to change my voice. We have very similar characteristics in our voice. His singing style is amazing. That's probably been the most fun and the most challenging thing for me, is getting that digging into that Philly soul kind of sound.
Right.
And then you put that training and getting into Big Band Boom, this amazing tribute band that's already been together and already established. And I mean, our whole summer is filled up. It's just fantastic. And hopefully we're going to play your 2-year anniversary of Yeah, Come On.
2-year anniversary. We're going to do a label. It's also Jeff and I's 1-year anniversary for Fox FM. Both of us worked at 96 Rock. Then I went to Rock 100.5. He worked for the Bull. He worked for the River, doing weekends for 20 years. I did morning shows for 30. But this podcast for us is something that we wanted to go just after the type of people like us. I think it's entertaining, but I want everybody to know that it's like anybody that makes it, there's a story, and there is, there's hopes and dreams, and kids are raised through this, and divorces happen, and it's just brutal. And when you don't have insurance and you don't have benefits, it sucks, but it's a freeing feeling. But you've got to crunch enough to be able to do that for your family.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I really, really appreciate my wife for her amazing work ethic and my side career, being able to do massage. Like I said, it's a nice little additive for sure, and it allows me to keep pursuing, what I love, and really that's the best way I can provide for my family too, is music. It's my full time.
And it keeps you happy. If you're miserable every day, not doing what you want.
Even the hustle. I mean, it gets super stressful. Super stressful. You guys know how this is. I mean, it's a constant hustle, and it's almost like every day you're going out there and trying to either prove your job to a new person, or you're trying to get a new job almost every day. And it's stressful, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Me either, and that's why we do it. That's the brilliance of what we do here. And Jeff, you came up with our tagline. I went with it. He actually threw it right over my damn logo, which we worked hard on, and it is unsolicited material. That's what we do. We hand out business cards. Jeff handed out glossies. He failed in California after 6 months and had to come home. Yeah.
The only thing.
I loved it.
Wait, no. Here's a good.
Emphasis on fail.
Here's a good LA story about sending out unsolicited material. So I go out there and I send out my headshot and resume to agencies or whatever. Yeah. I got one call.
And you had a tan too.
I had a tan.
Your skin was where you wanted it.
I had one call, and it was to go to some guy's apartment in West Hollywood.
Oh, Jeff, he was hitting on you.
He was totally he came up. He made.
I made that as a joke.
He totally did, and he realized that I wasn't homosexual. So he's like, "Oh,
did you look? Were you that good looking?"
No. I was living in West Hollywood though. Oh. So he may have assumed. But anyways, so once he realized that, he's like, "No, go down to my main office and they'll make you some new headshots." So then he sends me to this other office, and they try to sell me on, "Oh, you need new headshots. Here, use our photographer, $500 and get new headshots." So I got a double whammy of my unsolicited material backfiring. I got hit on, and then I got tried to get scammed out of making new headshots. So then I came back to Atlanta.
It's brutal, and
so many stories.
Yeah, I appreciate your story, and one of our last sponsors when we talk about it, because we are, whether you're a family person, a single person chasing down your dreams, whether you're in your 20s or your 70s, 80s, if you're in your 90s, man, just chill. It didn't happen. Just take a rest. But Circle285.com, we talk about it on our show. They're an endorser of Fox FM with Jeff and I, the Southside Ride, 6 to 10 a.m. Just go to My Fox FM again to download the app if you can't hear our signal, but we're Middle Georgia, Atlanta. But they do what we need. They go out to 25 of the biggest companies and find you the best insurance for you and your family, and they bundle it. Whether you have a small business because you're trying to make it, whether you just need it for your home or your cars, and they bundle all that together, and everybody I know that has done it has saved money and go with bigger, reputable companies. Don't just look at the big three. So special thanks to Circle285.com. And lastly, a kind of thing I like to do every once in a while, we've done it, it's like a cigarette break. And I don't know if you smoke cigarettes or what you smoke.
I used to.
Yeah. So for a cigarette break, be shameless real quick with Jeff and I. And I just want to let people know how they can follow you in your dreams or book this band, which could be this success story could be here right now with this Hall & Oates tribute.
A big bam boom. That's all you got to remember. I mean, it's just it's surreal right now, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. But yeah, the best way to follow me is just Doug Easterly Music.
Spelled like it sounds, Easterly.
Yeah, that's the Facebook and Instagram, and then my website is just DougEasterly.com, and that'll have the SkynFolks Skynyrd stuff. It will have the Big Bam Boom, is your Hall & Oates stuff. And I also do acoustic solos and duos. I play with Kristen and Stand Back. You'll see every now and then. So,
which is really cool. Yeah,
I call it Everything Doug. More information than you'll ever want to see about.
And we've got it too.
And you don't have to worry about not catching a show because there'll be another one within 24 hours.
But Doug's playing the area. He's playing here. I want him to play nationally. He is going to Philly. We talked about that on our radio show and talking about the podcast as well. But follow him.
Has some Canadian and Mexican interest.
Yeah. Nice.
International.
Yeah. So you say it. Jeff, what is it?
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance.
That's his phrase. Mine's Yeah, Come On. Speaking of Yeah, Come On, our main sponsor, again, look for these guys to be with us incoming July, August to play our 2-year anniversary of Legends, Yeah, Come On Bourbon Whiskey, as well as our 1-year anniversary for Jeff and I. There'll be a special label made for that event, and we'll have a special deal for that price and have you in the parking lot playing. And I want to see what he thinks is his success story, and I want to see Daryl Hall and John Oates performed to perfection. It's Big Bam Boom on the Yeah Come On Show podcast. Can I get a Yeah Come On?
Yeah, come on.